Guys, welcome to Audrey's reading area. Shout out to my grandbabies, Korea, Sanaa, D3, and Caden, David III. Thank you guys so much for joining me here as I read fun and exciting and multicultural books to you. Today, Multicultural Wednesday, so I will be reading a book that is kind of cultural, religious, but religion is also a cultural thing. So, I'll be reading Exodus. But first, you guys, please click that like button, click that share button, then go on over to YouTube, smash that subscribe button there for me on YouTube, and then you can let your kids sit there and listen to me read. Hopefully that'll encourage them to pick up a book on their own and read. Alexa, what time is Audrey's reading area?
From bogleheads.org. The meetings are held at
Alexa, what time is Audrey's reading area?
Audrey Reads in her area live at 8 o'clock p.m.
Live at 8 o'clock, you guys. All right, let's just jump right into this book. Exodus by Brian Wildsmith. So, I know it's going to be exciting. I have not pre-read it. This is the story of how one man led his people out of slavery to a land that God had promised to give them. His name was Moses. So, let me just see if when you open it, it connects. Yep, connects the picture. Can you see it? All right. So, we're going to read about Moses today. So, I think that it's the same person that illustrated it because it does not say who illustrated this book. So usually if it doesn't say it, it's the same person that wrote it. So this is the first picture here that I see. Interesting, right? Moses grew up as an Egyptian prince. I should have put on my Egyptian stuff, right? He grew up as an Egyptian prince, surrounded by the riches of Egypt. But he never forgot that he was a Hebrew, and he hated the cruel way his people were treated. One day he saw an Egyptian guard whipping a Hebrew slave. Moses was so angry that he leaped at the guard and killed him with his bare hands. When Pharaoh heard of this, he was very angry and wanted to kill Moses. He summoned the captain of the guard and ordered him to arrest Moses. But Moses fled to the land of Midian, where he lived and worked as a shepherd for many years. In time, Pharaoh died and was replaced by another king. The new Pharaoh was just as cruel, and the Hebrews in Egypt suffered even more than before. Wow. One day, while Moses was looking after his flock in Midian, God appeared to him as a fire blazing out from a bush. Although the bush was on fire, it was not burning. It wasn't burnt up. God called to Moses from out of the flames and said, "Take off your shoes, for you are standing on holy ground. I am your God, and I have seen the suffering of my people. Go back to Egypt and tell Pharaoh to let my people go. You will lead them out of Egypt to a land flowing with milk and honey." Then God spoke to Moses' brother, Aaron, in Egypt and said, "Your brother is coming home. Go and meet him." The two brothers met and went to Pharaoh's court together. They said to Pharaoh, "The Lord God has sent us to tell you to set the Hebrews free and let them leave Egypt." "I don't know your God," replied Pharaoh. "Can your God show me a sign?" Then Aaron threw his staff to the ground and it turned into a snake. When Pharaoh called his magicians to throw down their staffs also became snakes. But Aaron's snake swallowed up all the other snakes. Pharaoh took no notice. No, he said, I will not let your people go. Wow. So God sent a series of plagues to strike Egypt. The Nile River turned to blood. And the country was invaded by frogs, insects, and flies. The cattle died, and boils covered the people's bodies. Fierce hailstorms raged. Locusts ate up all the corn, and God sent darkness for 3 days. Still, Pharaoh would not let the Hebrews go. Pharaoh would not let the Hebrews go. Finally, God said to Moses, tonight the eldest son of each family in the land will die, but you and your people will be safe if you do as I command. So each Hebrew family killed a lamb and painted its blood on their doorpost. Painted the lamb's blood on the doorpost. They roasted the lamb, ate it with flatbread and bitter herbs, and waited while the angel of death passed over them. Hebrews still remember this time and celebrate it with a feast called Passover. Wow. Passover. A great cry rose up from the Egyptians, a cry of grief for their dead sons. Then Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron to him and said, leave this land, you and all your people, leave, or we shall all be dead. The Hebrews left Egypt that night, more than 600,000 men, together with women and children and their flocks and cattle. Moses led the way, and a young boy named Joshua walked by his side. God led the Hebrews in a pillar of clouds by day and guided them by a pillar of flame during the night. But Pharaoh changed his mind and sent his chariots after the Hebrew people. When the Egyptians caught up with them, the Hebrews had reached the Red Sea. God caused the pillar of cloud to bring darkness on the Egyptians, and the pillar of flame to bring light to the Hebrews. So the two armies were kept apart. Then God sent a powerful east wind, which parted the waters in two. The Hebrews walked through the middle of the sea on dry ground and crossed safely to the other side. When the Egyptians tried to follow, the sea came roaring down on them and swept them away. Wow. That's when Jesus parted the Red Sea. Amazing. Oh, God parted the Red Sea. Amazing. The Hebrews journeyed on and on into the wilderness. When their food ran out, the people complained bitterly that they were hungry. Then God said to Moses, I will rain down bread from heaven for you and your people. He rained down bread. Look at that. The next day in the early morning, God covered the ground with food. It was white and tasted of honey. And Moses called it manna. All the time that the Hebrews were in the desert, God gave them manna to eat. God also sent them flocks of birds called quails, which they cooked and ate. Quails. As the Hebrews went deeper into the desert, the sun beat down on them, and there was no water. They began to quarrel with Moses. We should have stayed in Egypt, they cried. We should have stayed in Egypt. We will all die of thirst here. God told Moses to strike a rock with his staff. Suddenly, fresh water gushed out, and they all had enough to drink. They couldn't claim it, and they couldn't, complain anymore, right? You see that? After walking for 3 months, can you imagine walking around for 3 months? They didn't have cars back in the days like how we have cars now. They walked for 3 months. The Hebrews came to the foot of Mount Sinai. There God called out for Moses to come to meet him. So Moses went up to the top of the mountain amid thunder and lightning. Thunder and lightning. Flames of fire and the blast of trumpets. Then God gave Moses the 10 Commandments, written on 2 tablets of stone. These laws told the people how they should live. Told the people how they should live on the 10 Commandments. Moses stayed on the mountains for so long that the people grew angry and impatient. They shouted at Aaron, "What happened to Moses? Where is his God now? Make us another God, a God that we can see." So Aaron collected their golden jewelry, melted it down, and made them a golden calf. Wow. When Moses returned, the people were dancing and worshiping the golden calf. Moses was so angry that he broke the tablets God had given him and destroyed the golden calf. Wow. But God forgave the people and ordered Moses to cut 2 new tablets of stone. Moses carried them up the mountain, and God wrote out the 10 Commandments again. When Moses came down, his face was shining because he had been talking with God, and all the people listened as Moses taught them of the laws of God. For 40 years, the Hebrews made their way through the wilderness until at last they reached the edge of the Jordan Valley. From the top of a high mountain, God showed Moses the beautiful land of Canaan. "This is the land I promised to give to my people," God said. "I have let you see it from a distance, but you shall not enter it." And there Moses died. Oh. His people buried him in a peaceful valley, and they wept for him for 30 days. Wow. Then Joshua, who had first followed Moses when he was a boy, took his place and led the Hebrews into the promised land. After all their wandering and struggles, they were a free people at last. They had finally come home. Aww. The 10 Commandments. "I am your God. I rescued you from Egypt where you lived as slaves. You must not worship any other gods. You must not make any idols or images to worship. You must not use my name wrongfully. You must not work on the Sabbath day. The 7th day is the Sabbath day. You must honor your father and your mother. You must not kill. You must not take someone else's husband or wife. You must not steal. You must not accuse anyone unjustly. You must not covet things that belong to other people." I'm going to read one of them again. You must not accuse anyone unjustly. Don't lie about somebody. Don't lie on someone. Okay? And that is the 10 Commandments, and that is the end. And it says engaging children with Passover. So I'm going to go up this slowly so you can pause and read, and pause and read, pause and read. So hopefully you can see it and read. And that is the end of the book. Wow, I enjoyed that book. I hope you did too. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Mom, for being here. Thank you, Elide and Victoria, for sharing my videos all the time. I greatly appreciate it. Now, Go to YouTube, look for Audrey's Reading Area, and smash that subscribe button for me. I got a shout out to my son from another mother. His name is Jeremiah. Jeremiah, much love. I'm probably going to shout you out again. But thanks again, and shout out to my friend Adriana, who gave me these earrings. Beautiful earrings. Adriana, shout out, no doubt. Thank you guys. Here at Audrey's Reading Area, I will be here Monday through Friday reading to you guys all these different books. Hopefully you'll enjoy them. Hopefully it'll encourage you to pick up a book and read it on your own. Just take your time and sound out the words. Sound them out and you will get it. Take your time. Yes. Only way to get it is to practice. Practice by doing. Well, all right, you guys. I'll see you again tomorrow live. Live, live at 8 o'clock tomorrow. See you soon. Audrey's Reading Area.